Part 2. Before I share with you how to better deal with your emotions and memories, I want to share some things with you that might broaden your awareness to life, to the fundamentals of life. I'm sure you've been driving before, music blasting in the car, thinking about something deeply, only to miss the turn that you were supposed to take. Sure, this could be a common route that you take all the time, but this can happen, and it does happen for a lot of people. In those moments, you might have had a lot of thoughts, feelings, and images that were flooding your brain, so much so you zoned out, missing your turn. You could have been thinking about work. You could have been thinking about something in your personal life. And because of that, you really kind of spaced out. Sure, you're still able to keep your vehicle on the road, and to some degree you're maybe singing along with the music, but there's also this internal reality that is going on in a lot of us all the time. Or maybe you're on your way to work in a family gathering and fully dreading the idea of another interaction with an individual that is difficult to deal with, whether that's on your job or at the family gathering in general. And the same thing often occurs prior to you getting to your destination point. You may have some memories that come up, some thoughts, feelings, images, and even some auditory experiences that are flooding your system, really causing you to prepare almost for the inevitable discomfort that you might face in this situation. So that's just another layer to just how common it is for us as individuals to have these different things that are going on in our system that really do affect how we show up on a day-to-day basis. Or maybe your phone starts to ring and that name shows up on your phone, and everything in your system causes you to freeze, to just hope that they hang up, and if you just let it keep ringing, they'll kind of get the clue. This is your life visually, auditorily, and kinesthetically. So getting control of your emotions and memories can be so freeing and fulfilling. I'll dive into how you can actually do this in part 3 if that's something that you're interested in. Because a lot of self-help stuff that you may encounter is really not going to cover the different layers of things that I'm addressing in part 3. Because a lot of emotions overall are just kind of looked at as a major inconvenience. You don't like how you feel, and that's often why people will turn to drugs overall. They don't want to feel something because they feel consumed by it or overwhelmed by it. And that's something that they're looking to change, but they don't know how. And that's where professionals such as myself can really step in and give you some of the tools in my own toolbox that can better assist you going forward in your life. Because let's face it, when these thoughts, images, and feelings overwhelm your system, especially when they're negative in nature, it can be quite overwhelming if you don't know how to deal with it. You can feel subject to have to go through those feelings regardless if you want to or not. And that's where things like marijuana are so addicting, because a lot of people just don't understand how the brain works and what they can do consciously to start affecting those things that come up. How to have better control over your emotions and over the many layers of your experience overall. Because let's face it, all of us on some level have our own version of reality. We could go see a movie in the movie theaters, and it could be, let's say, you and I. We go see the same movie. But afterwards, if we took a step back and we described what that movie was like, and we shared our thoughts on what that was like to experience, we're going to have very different reasonings. We're going to have very different explanations, feelings, thoughts, and images of that movie that we would share. Neither one of us are going to have a textbook definition to that movie. And that's just how broad life really is. And that's where a lot of individuals really struggle to accept that other people have their own reality. And we can try to deny, debunk, belittle, or minimize their significance. And oftentimes that just elicits defensiveness. It causes people to go on edge. And nobody wants to feel that way. That's why certain relationships from work, family gatherings, or just someone calling your phone that you don't really want to talk to can be so overwhelming. So if that's actually something that you want to have more control over, so you don't have to sit in those feelings as life happens to you, follow me for part 3.